Welcome to Learn Sibelius 6 in 1 hour. You can download a PDF of the Eroica score that will copy in this course from my website www.composerhome.com. If you want, you can also download catch-up files which allow you to jump straight into any individual lesson. And now there's an ebook for you to download to your PC, Mac or mobile device from www.amazon.com. Just search for Learn Sibelius. Another feature useful in the creative process in Sibelius is versions, and this is another feature which is also new in Sibelius 6. The first part of this feature that you'll want to use are the little sticky notes, or comments as they're called in Sibelius. So if I highlight a little bit of music here and then click the comments button, it's going to add a sticky note to my score, and it even tells me exactly which bit of music that it's about. Then I can type a note to myself, perhaps if I'm not quite sure what my tonality is yet. Big E flat major chord isn't enough. I could make a note to myself. What is this chord? Of course, this is an ideal feature to be used between teachers and students, and as you can see, my name has been added to the sticky automatically, so I could make comments on a score and my student could use those to make their own notes too. Now, as you go, you'll make new versions of your score. And this actually allows me to then jump back to previous versions through the drop-down menu we'll look at in a second. So I'm going to add a comment to this version, and then I'm going to go and have a look in the versions menu, and you can see I've got the current one I'm working on now, the one I've just created, and other ones that I've created in the past or recently. If I jump back to an earlier version, for a start I can tell it's an earlier version because the paper texture is slightly crumpled. I can click on notes, but I can't edit them. I can't make any changes to this score. Now you might wonder what use that is, but you don't want to go changing archived versions. You can, however, if you've created some good music in an earlier version, copy and paste it. So in this version I created some funny little arpeggiations in the clarinet part, so I can copy those, Ctrl-C or Command-C on a Mac, and then paste them, Ctrl-V or Command-V on a Mac. So I can paste those ideas between the scores even with the older versions. Now if I go to the Edit Versions dialog box, I can see quick previews of all of my different versions, and I can see the comments that I made on each version as I went. I can also make an older version to be the current version, so if I decided I'd actually got to a better point in the past, I could now make that the new version. Another useful window is the Compare Scores window, which you can open from that button or go to Window then Compare. So if I couldn't remember what I changed between the score between two different versions, for instance version 3 and version 4, I can choose those in there, and then I can click the little button with two arrows on it, and it'll compare the differences between those two scores, putting them side by side in the windows. There's a summary, just a few changes, and when I click close I can see more detailed exactly what was changed between each version. You could imagine if there were lots of people working on a score for, say, a film, that this would be very useful too. Now naturally, for students again, this is very useful as a composition diary, and you can actually export a lot of this information as an RTF file which can then be opened in a word processor like Microsoft Word and create a complete diary of your composition from the moment it was started to the moment it was ended.